Terrace side on Dust 2 is very versatile. You have a lot of options to do by going through long, through cat, through mid doors, through tunnels to B, or through tunnels to lower B to mid doors or cat. But the most versatile way for the terrace to play this is having control of information. From T-spawn, you're able to call how many counter terrorists are crossing a B site. You can call how fast or slow that they're crossing, and you're able to make a pick off or hurt anyone crossing by shooting them through the doors. This crucial information allows for the rest of your team to know if A site or B site is the better site to hit, based off of how many counter terrorists are going to be playing there. At long A, it is always good to have a player come close to the doors and listen for any aggression. If the counter terrorists are pushing or nading and flashing, then the terrorists know that the counter terrorists who are playing at A side of the map are playing long A together. This means that catwalk will be open. And likewise, if there's no noise over at long A, then it's safe to presume that the counter terrorists are going to be playing on catwalk, and the terrorists should adjust accordingly. It is always good to have a scout coming at long just to verify that the counter terrorists are indeed playing cat or not. At B tunnels, a T player should always be present to listen for any aggression on the B tunnels and any rotations whom you can hear rotating from a car towards the big box outside of sight all the way down to this counter flash spot in this cubby. With this information, the terrorists know exactly where the counter terrorists are playing B site from, if they're actually in the site or if they're playing outside of it, which enables them to do mid B splits, full B hits, or if they should avoid B altogether. The lower B tunnel provides an excellent vantage point to cover catwalk from, with this lower B box that you can boost on, and these other bricks that you can boost on. It is also very important to have control of B tunnels in case the counter terrorists want to push through. You're able to stop a push from this excellent positioning. For a very strong default to A site, two terrorists are going to have ops. The main role of these oppers is to kill anybody who's crossing these mid double doors and to call the speed of the cross. It does not matter if they're able to make a pick or not, but it is also very beneficial if they do. Their main goal is to see how many counter terrorists are crossing, to know which side is easier to hit by means of how much contention is going to be at either site. Their role is also to stop any lower B push by killing any players who are trying to make it into lower B tunnels, and to call how fast the counter terrorists are crossing so that the B tunnel players know what they need to do. One of the players is going to come to long, and he's going to listen for any CT aggression and for any grenades going off that might signal a push, or if the counter terrorists are playing long, or in fact not playing long but in fact playing cat. The remaining two terrorists are going to come into B tunnels. One of the players is going to be responsible for maintaining lower B control, where he can come and peek out to make sure there's no aggression on lower B, but also boost up on these boxes and stop a cat push from the lower B box or the bricks in lower B. If any counter terrorists are pushing up middle or through cat, his job is to come and flank them and help his teammates out. The other player is responsible for an upper B push. A great spot to play watching the upper B push from is behind these bricks, where you can duck for cover and peek up at the headshot angle. You can also throw flashbangs where it's going to affect the enemy but not you. For the purposes of an A take, the two players in lower B are going to have the responsibility to throw a smoke that's going to land on Xbox. The smoke is going to protect them to get up catwalk safely, where the counter-terrorists aren't able to pick them off easily, and the counter-terrorists aren't going to have sight on the terrorists, so they don't know how many terrorists are executing or how fast they're going to be executing. One of the oppers is going to make their way to green box. Green box is this cubby area in middle, where he's going to disable any counter terrorists from rotating across middle, pushing through tunnels and flanking from lower, as well as any counter terrorists who are going to push outside of long. The rest of the team is going to make their way up catwalk. Utilizing smokes and flashes, they're going to disable the site and ramp area with a smoke, and they're going to stagger flashes that are going to disable any long players. Flashes include ones that go to long, car area, which is going to disable anyone who's in this area. Another flash that's going to land outside of goose, which is going to disable any player in this cubby area. As well as 2 more staggered flashes, which are going to land ramp and again to long. The flashes are going to buy enough time for the terrorists to make it to the site at close quarters so that they're not going to be affected by oppers. The smoke in sight is going to protect them from when they're actually in sight from anyone playing at long and in pit from actually shooting them. The bomb can be safely planted in the smoke, and the second smoke can be rethrown just to give them terrorists extra protection while they plant. If it's not safe to plant in the open, you can plant behind either the solo box or in the normal cat plant spots. Once the bomb is planted, you must look at where the bomb is planted and figure out your positioning based off of that. If the bomb is planted for long, you can play just about anywhere on the map. You can play it from long, you can play it from cat, you can play it from CT spawn if you wanted to, or quad box. If the bomb's planted for cat though, you cannot play long as the counter terrorist could defuse with cover. If a plan is made in one of these locations, then terrorists must play by quad boxes as well as the cat bricks, so that if the counter terrorists are hopping on the bomb, they're able to come and kill them from a better angle than trying to spam them through a box. On the strategy, it's also sometimes good to have one player, instead of going up catwalk, lurk middle or lurk long. The way he can work middle is by smoking off CT spawn and flashing over mid to disable any B players from shooting him, while he pushes into CT spawn and kills anybody rotating up quickly and shuts off rotations coming through this narrow choke point. The way they lurk long is after the catwalk players are executing up cat, a player is going to lurk out long and kill any counter terrorists in the back who are focused on the site. The way this default works as a B strategy is instead of taking it up catwalk, the players are going to have the smoke up on Xbox like normal, so the counter terrorists do not know what's happening. One of the oppers, instead of going anywhere else, is going to come straight to B tunnels, and he's going to go for a pick at B site. One rifler is going to be here to assist him, while 2 riflers are going to do a mid to B, with the opper at green box assisting them with flashes and smokes to get outside middle, while watching their long and cat flanks as well as rotations from A to B. The way the mid players are going to execute on mid to B is that they're going to have a smoke up, which is going to protect them from getting shot from anyone who's opping from long A. Only 1 flash is usually required, which is going to go over the mid wall, which is going to disable any players playing from window or from big box, which is going to allow the terrorists to get into a good position to kill them while they're blind. Flashing over the site is always good before you enter to disable anyone shooting you as you come through the window or the doors. A second flash may be used in CT spawn, which is going to delay any flankers from pushing through the smoke and flanking you while you make your way into the B site. The duty of the players who are playing an upper are going to wait for the mid players to make the execution start, and then they're going to go based off of that. Usually it's going to be an opper and a rifler here, but sometimes it's 2 riflers. If it's an op and a rifle, the rifle's going to walk up the right wall, where you can clear out any aggression up close, while the opper's going to walk up the left wall, and he's going to clear all the angles that the counter-terrorists usually play with ops or rifles peeking into the tunnels. When his teammates are coming through the window and door, they're going to push into the site as it's probably clear. If the window and door players are saying that the B players are playing outside the site, it is their duty to come and flash and assist their teammates by killing anyone who's out of position. The default plant spot is in this corner, where you can kill anyone defusing it from tunnels, from big box, from closet box, from back of the platform, and even if you make your way outside of the site, you can flash in and kill anyone on the bomb. At the beginning of this round, it is often good to note that terrorists can come here and look for the platform cross early, and if he sees that the counter-terrorists are not playing behind the bricks, he can tell his teammate with the op what the counter-terrorists are doing so that they can come in and make the appropriate adjustments to how they're going to pick the site. For the counter-terrorist side, good things to note are smoke grenades, which are going to protect you to cross B. Usually it's best to throw the smoke grenade immediately, so that by the time it blooms, you are able to cross before you waste any time, so you can get into the B site quickly. If you're delayed, then it's going to be extremely difficult to stop a rush. The placement of the smoke grenade is crucial. If it's too close, then it might not cover everything, but if it's too far, then your teammate, who has an op at middle, may not be able to peek into middle and try to get an aggressive pick. Other good things to note are smoke grenades that are going to land in the long A doors. Having this smoke thrown every round enables you to play long A or catwalk, and the terrorists don't know where you're going to be playing. Another great feature of the smoke is that any terrorists who want to execute through long doors are going to have to run through a gray screen where they have no idea where they're going. In ESEA, the barrels are not removed, so the counter-terrorists can shoot the barrels into the doorway, which is going to stop terrorists from jumping out safely. Combine that with a smoke grenade, and the terrorists really have no idea what's going to happen to them. For a decent TT setup, it is often good to have 2 players playing in the B site, 1 player playing middle, and 2 players playing A together. For the B players, usually an opera and a rifle will play here, where the rifler is going to support his teammate into the site by flashing, nading, or smoking the tunnels so that his teammate can cross the back of platform with an op and shut down any terrorists from peeking in. This is a great place to play from because it's very difficult to get flash from here. You can counter flash a variety of different ways, and you can peek up and play a headshot angle with an op. You can also smoke off the tunnels by throwing a smoke on top of it where you can spot feet and shoot them through the smoke, or you can throw it into the tunnels where it just completely blocks out any terrorists from being able to see anything, and you can shoot them through smoke grenades. Once the player is set up in the back of B platform, this rotate support player, is able to come and support middle or B, whatever needs help. One player is going to be playing in CT spawn, and his job is to listen for catwalk and watch for a mid to B push. If they're coming mid to B, he's going to tell his B rotator to counter flash middle so that they can peek out and shut down any aggression through the doors. If they're doing a mid-B split, the B rotator might have to focus all of his attention on B site, so it's always good to have the CT spawn player smoke and flash mid-doors so he can shut down any rotations, but also have a quicker rotation into B site should his teammates die. The remaining players are going to be playing at A site. They never want to split up one cat and one long, so they're usually going to play either long or cat together. The ways that they can do this is by having a smoke up every round, which you can rebuy, and then they can come to long and play one corner, who's going to delay peek, and one in the pit, who's going to be the primary peeker. If the pit guy spots players coming out of the doors, then the corner guy is able to peek afterwards. You can throw counter flashes over this wall, off this wall, or off this corner, which are all very effective at stopping any terrorist aggression. The counter-terrorists are able to layer smokes at the doors, which is going to effectively disable any terrorists coming out of these doors for 60 seconds. 20 for the initial smoke that's thrown from spawn, and then 20 each for the next 2 smokes that are thrown. Sometimes it's good to smoke the long doors, nade in, and then scoot all the way back to cat immediately. This gives the impression that you're playing long, but in fact you're playing on catwalk. The nades aren't necessary, because it slows you down from getting to catwalk, which allows the terrorists to get up quickly. So if you want to just ignore the grenades and come straight to cat, you can absolutely do that. The way that catwalk should be played is one player is spotting from behind the stairs cubby where he can dodge flashes, and another player who's in a position where he can't get shot from long, who's going to be ready with a flash out. So if a flash comes up, he's throwing a flash immediately. And if his teammate spots any terrorists aggressing the catwalk, he's going to throw a flash so that they can both peek and push together, get the kills, and fall back. It's often good to throw a smoke grenade in the choke point so that terrorists have to push through the smoke. It is often seen that counter-terrorists like to employ a 3-1-1 setup. In a 3-1-1 setup, the 2 B players are going to be responsible for B and mid. The B player is going to set up normally, while the other player is responsible for maintaining mid control. His job is not to stop any players from going cat, but it is to stop mid to B split, because his teammates are on the other side of the map. The A players are going to set up how they normally play at A, by one player getting in the pit. One player is going to be playing with an op who's at long corner who can peek into long doors, and who can also come over to peek into middle or on cat. The remaining player is going to play either in goose or on the ramp, where he can shift to goose after he knows that the terrorists are up. The ways that you play this is taking pop shots over this box, grenading catwalk, smoking them off, and throwing counter flashes from spots such as goose, which you can peek with, or off this wall so that you can peek onto cat from ramp safely. This 3-1-1 setup is a great way to stop any A execution where you're unable to hold A site and your long A retake isn't up to par. When I say a long A retake, I mean the default strat where you have 2-1-2 and your A players are playing at long A and the terrorists make their way up catwalk. You don't want to be in this area being pinched from catwalk and long doors at the same time, so you're going to isolate like any other map. By isolating, you push into the long doors and you make sure that there are no terrorists lurking around here. When your teammates are rotating to CT spawn, getting ready to rotate up through CT to A site, you guys are going to throw flashes over the wall. That's going to blind anyone on site and on cat for your teammates to run up from CT up the ramp and flash towards cat bricks. Once you guys are all up on the site, you can smoke off the bomb and drop your nades on cat bricks and clear and spam quads while you defuse the bomb. This works as a great setup if you have great coordination with your team and you have great patience. It doesn't work if people are lone soldiers and trying to make big plays by themselves.